All right, everybody, doing my best to keep up with your questions here and supply some answers. So today we've got one from Jen who asks, what are some tips on how to leave a coach/team for another? How do you approach the situation without burning bridges? Or how would you approach the situation? Is that implying that I would burn bridges in the process? So this is obviously a sensitive topic for a lot of people. Some people couldn't care less, but it brings up a lot of issues. There's a lot of those pesky emotions involved and things like that. So bottom line, coaches and athletes both have to understand that it is ultimately the athlete's choice about what team and what coach they lift for and with, right? That's it. This is 100% a bunch of adults making decisions about what is best for them. Okay, so if you are a coach who has an athlete who chooses to leave, granted, there could be situations where it was not a good choice and the reasons were not good, but either way, you have to accept that it is their choice and you can't waste time being super upset about it or, talking shit about people and all that stuff. And at the same time, athletes, you have to keep in mind that while it is your choice, that choice should be made rationally and you need to be well informed and have good reasons, right? So for example, if you have been with a coach for years and you guys have one disagreement, one argument, it's not a good reason to leave. I suppose there could be a situation where that agreement or disagreement and argument is something serious enough where it's enough to leave, but usually that is not the case, right? It's like any relationship, there are going to be rocky periods. There's going to be times when you guys are pissed at each other. You don't just up and walk away when that happens. And so, the first point is that you have to make an effort to see if the problem can be resolved, right? Both athlete and coach, but athlete, if you are the one thinking, hey, I'm probably going to leave, ask yourself, do I really need to leave, or is this something that can be resolved? And if so, how do I broach the topic with my coach? And basically kind of take his or her temperature and see if it's something they're willing to do, right? So if you are thinking of leaving because there is something you believe your coach should be doing for you and is not, or used to do for you and is no longer, something along those lines, the adult, responsible, rational thing to do is to talk to them about it and to find out, hey, what's going on? Why are you not doing this? What changed? Or is this something you're willing and able to do because this is something that I need as an athlete? And if you are not willing and able to do it, that means that in my best interest as an athlete, I'm going to find someone who will do it. And the point is that you need to present the situation in a way to that coach where you are not just suddenly springing this, that you're leaving on them. You are giving them an opportunity to understand your grievance, and giving them an opportunity to actually make a change and, potentially solve the problem and make everything, better and essentially eliminate the cause for you to leave in the first place. So, like I said, unless there's something like insanely egregious that there's no way to get around, give that coach a reasonable chance by talking to them, explaining what you need. And if they say, yeah, I get it, I'm willing to work on that and do it better, then give them a chance to actually make that change. It's probably not going to be instantaneous. I mean, don't give them another 5 years, but give them a reasonable amount of time. And if it is something that's so egregious that it really requires no consideration, then you really don't have to worry about burning bridges, do you? Because that bridge is already burnt to the ground. You do have to keep in mind that people outside of that immediate relationship are not going to know all the details very likely. And guaranteed that if they inquire, they're going to get different stories from you versus the coach. You know, there's two sides to every story, but that actually doesn't mean that either one of them is true or accurate. So you have to be prepared for the fact that people are going to potentially consider you just kind of being a shitty athlete or a shitty person, even if that is not the case, and it was totally warranted, or the way you did it was totally warranted in that situation. And you have to bear in mind that you need to do what's best for you. And if that results in a little bit of, you know, fallout from other people, then you're going to have to accept it. You can try to explain your way through it, but that doesn't always work. And of course, with the old internet, it's worse than it's ever been. So, bottom line, give the coach a chance, give the team a chance. Don't just be in a big hurry to bail out, because, you know, there's such a good chance that you're going to wind up with the exact same problems in another situation if you're the kind of person who is not willing to actually communicate with your coach and make sure that he or she understands what you need, you know, from them, or what's not happening, or, you know, whatever the case is. And then, you know, when you do make a decision, just make the decision, pull off that Band-Aid, you know, real quick. Don't draw it out into some protracted, horrible, miserable process for everybody. And then be prepared to ignore what other people are saying about you, or, you know, whatever the case is. And you don't have any responsibility to answer to those people, but it's kind of generally a good idea, if you are going to, you know, respond to them, keep it totally objective. Like, hey, I did this for this reason for myself, not go out there and say, I left because this coach is a horrible person, or he doesn't know what he's doing, or, you know, whatever the case is. You just, it's totally unnecessary. You know, again, unless there's some egregious violation that people need to be warned about, and there are, you know, other avenues for that than posting all over social media generally. Just keep it professional, keep it simple, and don't air your dirty laundry unnecessarily. Good luck, Jen.
Greg Everett with Catalyst Athletics here. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. If you have questions, post them in the comments. I answer all of them. Also check out catalystathletics.com for the biggest Olympic weightlifting exercise library out there, along with hundreds of free articles and videos and other resources for both athletes and coaches.